Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle, and today I'm going to be doing a video where I chat about authors that need more hype. So I have maybe 10 authors on this list that I'm going to be chatting about. Some of my all-time favorite authors that more people need to read their books. And they are absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to chat about them with you. So let's get right into this video. The first author on this list is Pam Godwin. I love Pam Godwin. She is just the queen of dark romances. Her romances are epic. They usually have a twist in them that you were not expecting. So one of my favorites from her is Sea of Ruin. It is a angsty love triangle romance. It's actually a pirate romance, so it's kind of historical as well. And the heroine is a pirate captain, and she is running away from her husband, and she gets captured by an English pirate hunter, and she is taken captive on his ship, and it is absolutely insane. I love this one. It is super angsty, very, very dark, but amazing, and I love like the twist in the end of who she ends up with. It's just so good. Another favorite of mine from her is Knotted. This is a dark cowboy romance. So the hero and heroine grew up together and are best friends, and one night something really horrible happens to the heroine when they're all out like on a trail together, I think like horseback riding, and she basically gets, you know, assaulted. And now it is years later, and she's coming back to the small town where they grew up, and she has to deal with some stuff, and she is still very traumatized from her past. And it is just a really beautiful darker romance. It feels like Yellowstone. If you love that show, this is like that in a book, I feel like, and I just love this one so much. I love Pam Godwin. She has so many amazing series. She just released a new series set in Alaska, which was not my favorite, but some people I know that love dark romances have been absolutely loving that series. So she is a favorite. You need to go read her if you haven't yet. Then I have Ashley Munoz. So for her, I've only read the Stone Riders Motorcycle Club series by her, but it is absolutely amazing. Definitely becoming a top favorite series ever. So this is a motorcycle romance series, and they are companion novels, so each of the books follows a different couple. The first book is a second chance romance where the hero is the president. It's also like second chance to enemies to lovers, like hate to love, where they were in a relationship before and something happened and they broke up, and she's actually coming into town to visit her, like to deal with her dad because he passed away and like his affairs, and she sees the hero and he is very mad at her, and they have this like really delicious angsty tension. So she ends up having to stay in town, and he can't stand her because of what happened in their past or why they broke up. It is so good. The second book is a tortured hero hate to love romance. That one's my favorite in the series. The third book is Where We Promise. That is a kind of second chance where the heroine is pregnant with another man's baby, and that one's really good as well. So the series is amazing. Highly recommend. I have been absolutely adoring it. It is so good. Then I have Stacy Reid, and I absolutely adore Stacy Reid. She is one of my favorite historical romance authors, and there aren't a ton of Black romance authors that write historical romances, and I just love her so much. She and Beverly Jenkins are my favorites. I just love them. So one of my favorites from her is called A Matter of Temptation. This one's a lot of fun, and the heroine, her brother got into some trouble, and he is about to go into like a duel, and she ends up taking his place because it deals with fencing, the duel. And so she goes head on with the heroine and beats him in the fencing, and she takes off her mask and she reveals she's a woman, and the hero is just like, what? That is insane. And so he ends up hiring her, I think, to become his like secretary. And so they have so much like angsty chemistry, and it is so good. I love that one. Another one that's a favorite of hers is an Overboard retelling that's absolutely hilarious. That one is so good, and it's also like a marriage being, well, not a marriage, it's kind of like fake marriage, because the hero is just kind of a jerk, and the heroine, she lives in this like town, and the hero gets like thrown overboard, and he comes onto shore, and he is like, I remember the heroine because they had this like moment together, kind of where it was very promiscuous, and he remembers that but nothing else. And so he's about to like tell, you know, all of society that, you know, they had a moment together, and then she blurts out that he is her husband. So he has to go work on the farm with her that she owns with her younger siblings, and he is just like, I don't think this is me, like I feel like I'm someone of wealth. And she's like, no, you're my husband. And it's so funny, and he totally takes the husband role to the next level. He has so many like my wife moments, and I loved it. Absolutely obsessed with her in this book. She is just a top tier historical romance author, and more people need to read her books. Then I have Nikki Castle. I've been loving Nikki Castle. I'm currently reading Fourth Degree by her, which is a coach MMA fighter romance. And she has this whole series that revolves around MMA fighting, and it's super fun. I've been loving them. The first book I think is my favorite so far. It is a enemies to lovers, forced proximity, like situationship type thing, where the heroine needs somewhere to stay, and her best friend lives with the hero, and she absolutely hates the hero because they just like butt heads all the time. It's very hate to love. And so she ends up having to stay with him for a couple of weeks while her best friend is out of town on a work trip, and they have so much chemistry and angst between them, and they finally give in, and it is so good. And they both train at the same fighter, like MMA fighting gym, and so the whole series kind of revolves around this gym. So like the one I'm reading right now, the hero is like the owner of the gym, and the heroine is going to the gym for classes, and it's also an age gap forbidden. I'm really enjoying it, and I just really love, she has some really good dirty talking heroes, and her spicy scenes are always top tier. She is so good, so definitely go check it out. And I have Samantha Young. I have been loving, I feel like she was super popular in like 2015 with like traditionally published romances, but she has been writing her indie published series, which is the Highland series, and I have been absolutely loving it. It all revolves in Scotland, and each of the books in the series I have just enjoyed so much, and it all revolves around this like manor in Scotland. And so the one that I just read was Skies Over Caledonia, which was amazing. It is a marriage of convenience, kind of second chance, tons of mutual pining, so much angst, forced proximity. It was absolutely like just amazing. Definitely a new favorite, and I've been listening to them on audio, and those have been really amazing. And just if you want like Scottish heroes and some suspense, I would definitely check the series out because it is incredible. Then I have Laura Pavlov. I have been loving her series lately. I don't remember what the series is called, where it's like Into the Tide, that series, which is one of my favorites. It's so good. It all is like a small town romance series. It has lots of fun different tropes. And then her newest series, Magnolia Falls, I've been really loving. Like Loving Romeo was so good. It's a hate to love MMA fighter romance, and it was amazing. And I just love like her small town romances. They're just like so picturesque, and I just love her romances. I've been really loving her lately, and her audiobooks are really, really great as well. She picks the best narrators, and so if you really like Catherine Cowles, I would also check out Laura Pavlov because they're similar. And if you don't love like the suspense that Catherine does, like Laura Pavlov doesn't really have any suspense in her small town romances, and I just love like all of the found family vibes in her series. Like she makes a point to do that, and I just love it. So she's just great, and you should definitely check out these two series by her. Then I have Tessa Hale, and I'm specifically talking about the Midnight of Ashes series, or Twilight of Ashes, which is her Dragon Shifter Wide Choose romance series. I've been talking about her nonstop, and she needs more hype. She needs more people reading this series because it is amazing. I love how she really takes time to develop all of the relationships when she does a wide choose romance, because sometimes some authors don't do that. They'll really develop one relationship, and then you're kind of like, well, I really like this guy and I don't feel a connection with him and the heroine. So I just loved how she handled that in this series. And so this series also has a lot of fun tropes like fated mate, and one of the heroes is a billionaire, one of them is a professor at the university that they're all attending, and there's a lot of action, lots of fun secrets revealed, and it's just like action-packed, quick romances that I have been loving, so definitely check her out. Then I have QB Tyler. I absolutely adore QB Tyler. She just writes, she's like the queen of forbidden romances. I just love her books. They're just so good. So one of my favorites by her is What Was Meant to Be, which is a kind of a unique take on a dad's best friend romance where they actually had a relationship, but now it is years later and they broke up, and she is engaged to somebody else, and he is like, wait, like, I still love you and want to be with you. And so he has to win her back, and it is so good, and her parents still don't know that they have this whole secret relationship. And it's super spicy, really fun, and I love her romances. They are always super spicy and forbidden. She has a bodyguard romance. She just toes the line of forbidden, like the borderline of that, and I just love it. So definitely check her out. She is amazing. The next author I'm going to talk about is Gianna Darling. I love her romances so much. She is just the queen of like darker, you know, romances and forbidden and taboo. I just love her romances, and I feel like more people need to read Serpentine Valentine by her. It is her sapphic dark academia romance. It is amazing. I love that romance so much, and also more people need to read her Mafia Duet, which is like when heroes rise and when villains fall or something like that. And both of those are amazing. I feel like a lot of people love her Fallen Men series but don't go to her other romances. So definitely need to check those out. Her Fallen Men series is amazing, but she also has so many other like duets and just amazing romances that you need to read. Alright, well, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me chat about some authors that I think need more hype. So definitely down below, let me know if you agree with these or if you have favorite authors that you wish more people would read, because I would love to know. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you